Cool. I just recorded for 10 minutes, and because Windows and OBS are made by people that hate us all, it had changed my microphone to be no microphone. So I hadn't recorded any audio for the last 10 or 15 minutes. So that's upsetting. Now, I'm going to skip a lot of what I said earlier because I was telling you about my other party, which is unimportant for this particular set of events. We were, with this party, up here, raiding, looking for some ingredients that have been stolen by a spy, and we dealt with a spy, but the components weren't here. As such, we are going to head out and follow some tracks to see if we can find where this went. And as part of that, we're going to use the one-page Mythic Location Crafter. And we're going to use a small, which means we start off with 3 progress points. And we roll a 7, which gives us 10. So our first location as we go in, negative descriptor. Okay. So negative descriptor. Let's check over here. Expected, the element is something we expect. Otherwise, roll a negative. Let's roll this descriptor and see what we get. 2. Active. So it's something active. It's negative. I think it's going to be some kind of wildlife. As such, let's get out our little books. We don't want that one. We want horrors and... no, we don't want horrors and treasures just yet. We want, this one. And we need to find the random monster table. And then, D10 first. 9. Okay. We're kind of in light woods. So, men. Okay. Kinds of men. D12. 4. A 9th level magic user. Great. Random alignment. Okay, 1 to 2 there. And 1 to 2 there. Out here doing good. 3 to 4, they're doing their own thing. 5 to 6, they are servants of evil. They are servants of evil. Let's roll for reaction. 6. Do we have a charisma bonus in any of these people? Let's have a look. You don't have a charisma bonus. Jill has a charisma bonus, so they've got a +1. +2 even probably. Oh no, wait, we actually have +1. Jin, no reaction bonus. So we've got a +1 from Jill, so that's a 7. So that's neutral. Okay. Should probably roll a surprise check. Neither of us are surprised. It's not unsurprising considering we're a level 9 magic user. Are they alone? Let's just ask fate if they're alone. 50-50. I mean, they're a magic user, so they're more likely to be alone than other people. And if they do, it's probably some kind of horrifying magical construction. So we'll go likely. 76. Are they alone? No. They're evil, so they've got some beasties with them. Let me check something. We've got some beasties with them. Mythic. So I've got a ye olde mythic-y on here. Creatures and beasts. Creature descriptors. Steaming metallic. Okay, they've got some kind of automaton with them. Does the book have any automatons in it? I do remember people talking about there being automatons. R. Robots? No. A. Automatons? No. M for machines? No. A for androids? No. Are they under aliens? There's a section there for aliens. Bears. Not bears. We don't have any bears. Aliens. Greys, mantids, watchers. The king in... I do think it's funny that they've got the king in yellow. I'm currently running the Delta Green Impossible Lands. So I'm all about the... Oh no, shit. I can't read. I'm blind as a bat. It clearly says there robots under R. Okay, R. R, 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 R. P, R. Robots. What does it say here? Robots are slow-moving humanoid automations of ancient manufacture, often malfunctioning, yet highly durable. In melee, they do 2d6 damage, but always strike last. Okay. We don't want to get in a fight with that either. Okay, fine. We've got something in here which might be useful for this. We're going through our little book or our little pile of things that we could encounter. Yeah, the one page character crafter. Who is this? Characters are generated using descriptors. Establish each descriptor category below by rolling keywords from a character description table. Interpret the words within the context of a descriptor. For instance, establish identity or talents. For a one-sentence descriptor, such as commander of an Imperial frigate, start rolling one word for each descriptor. Okay, so the identity descriptor. 55. Heroic. Okay, so let's get out our solo sheet book and let's put in this wizard, this magic user. Ag. Identifier. Identity. Heroic. Okay. Mind descriptor. 40. 40. Environment. Okay. Mind descriptor. And the mind descriptor describe the most notable aspects of their mind, such as are they highly intelligent, or they have a quirky personality. So we've got rolled environment, so I think that's kind of like their yeah. Let's have a think about that. Body descriptor. 88. 88 resistant. Okay. And finally, talent descriptor. 42. Exceptional. Great. And additional behavior context. 29. Based on a body keyword. Right. So what we found here is a former hero. So there used to be a great mage of the a great mage of some ancient empire, right? And then their mind has been kind of you know how there's that mold that makes ants drown themselves, something like that. So they've been infected by some kind of mold. But this has also given them a kind of thick shrubbery like body, and they are exceptional. So they're even more dangerous than they'd normally be. Used to be a hero, taken over by evil mold. Body is woody and covered in shrubbery. And yeah, the exceptional part stands for itself. Now, based on the body keywords, resistant. How do we think we'd interpret that? I think broadly they'd be defensive. I mean, the other thing, so they've kind of reacted neutrally to us. I kind of think that there's a good chance that we're beneath their notice. Are we beneath their notice? I reckon that's very likely that we're beneath their notice. 7. So we are very much beneath their notice. They do not pay us any mind at all. So we kind of probably almost barely don't see them. And their strange automaton kind of going through the forest through the woods. 'Cause I learned the other day that a forest was really created by the concept of ownership, right? So they were woods until some lord went, that's my area, only I can hunt there. At which point it became a forest. And forests didn't necessarily have to be full of trees. So that makes a place like Epping Forest make a lot of sense now. Because the forest could include the kind of settlements and farmland and all the rest of it in between the various wooded areas where the hunting happened. And everybody inside that forest would be property of the... everyone and everything would be property of the lord who set up the forest. Kind of like a early enclosure. Okay. But, right, next zone. Let's give it a roll. Let's see what we get. So we are at PP of 4. Our PP is 4. 6. 6 plus 4 is 10. And 10 is... 10 is negative descriptor again. 15. Colourful. Colourful. I kind of presume this means that there's some colourful poisonous plants. Probably violent plants. Do we spot the plants? What have we got rocking around our party again? We've got Doug, the green skull. Who's got wings? Doug, Jill. Who's got poison glands? And is a thief by the looks of it. Yeah. And then Jin, the half-caster. Well, I kind of presume that we'll get a d6 roll on Jill. 2. Okay, that's not a successful roll. Can I guess they all need to make a save versus poisons. So we all start with a save of 16, right? Yeah. So Doug, a green skull, resists. Jill, our thief, resists. Jin does not succeed. So Jin is under the influence of powerful hallucinogenic stuff, which is sad. So we're going to have to kind of rest in this location until she comes down from her, until they come down from their trip. I reckon that's going to take at least, if we split it up into kind of like 4 hours. Well, we can't rest right here because this is where the stuff is. So I guess we're going to have to kind of drag Jin to the next location and hope we don't get into a fight. So let's move forward after encountering our dodgy flowers. So we're now at PP5 and Jin is out of action. 8. 8 plus 5 is 13. 13 is an encounter descriptor. Okay. This isn't what we wanted, is it? No. 43. 43. Guidance. Oh, that sounds good, actually. So guidance, I think that we encounter a forest ranger, right? And they have an antidote? 50-50, well, 65. It's likely that they do because they're a ranger, right? Yes, they do have, but we've got a random event. Okay. Let's go back here. Random event. Ambiguous event. I hate ambiguous event. Close a thread. We're not really running threads. Remote event. Okay. Remote event. So let's reduce my chaos factor back to 5. Remote event. Meaning tables. Adventure elements. Plot twists. Urgent failure. Okay, well, I think that this means that the reason we were coming out here has concluded, right? Actually, let's ask a question. Does it have to do with our current quest? 50-50. 14. Yes, okay. So the reason we were getting this has expired. Let's just make a note of that. Reason for getting ingredient has expired. Was it for medicine? No. Okay. So if it wasn't for medicine, it was for a ritual that they were going to cast, right? So we were going to have a ritual. This was going to be included in the ritual. They haven't managed to do the ritual, which means they're going to have a bad harvest. Village unable to perform ritual, so we'll have bad harvest. Oh no. Oh no. But we don't know that. But we do have to rest. So we're going to rest here and use up one of our rations, taking us down to 3. Does anything happen whilst we're resting? No. Good. Right. So that's put us on 6 pp. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's roll. 8 plus 6 is 14. 14 is an object descriptor. Okay. 75. Purposeful. Purposeful. We don't have a one-page object crafter, which is a bit upsetting. But that sounds like it's going to be something that's just like outright useful. Is it a piece of technology? I reckon it is I reckon it's unlikely that it'll be a piece of technology. 30. It is not a piece of... Oh no, I said unlikely. So it is a piece of technology. Okay. Let's have a look at our random tables again for a moment. What do we think it could be? Object descriptor. Environment, location, supernatural magic, technology and sci-fi. Starship descriptors. Well, that's not very useful. Adventure element. Object, meaning. What does that give us? Active and new. Adventure elements, environments and location, characters, identity. Lore and history? No. Descriptor, meaning 1. Colourful. Ah, fuck. So what was that first one? That was colourful and careful. Carefully. How am I supposed to go? Colourful and... Kind of a shame I don't just have like a purpose table. That'd be useful. Some people are really good at kind of like getting these and just going like, that's what this means. I'm not quite that good at it. Well, I kind of presume that we won't know what it is. Can we take it with us? 50-50? No. So it's something that's physically here. Let's make a note of that. Unknown tech in... What hex are we in? What does that look like? 0702? I think so. Yeah, 0702. 0702. Fine. But we'll rest here for the day. No, we did that last hex. The last check. So we're now at 7... 8 plus 7 is 15. 8 plus 7 is 15. 15 is expected. Exit. Excellent. Okay, expected. This we find hidden under a rock this this plant, this collection of ingredients. Open it up, smells horrible from what I remember. And close it, we've got it. Smells like feces. Clearly it's like wolf dung or something horrible. Excellent. So we've got it. Now there is something else up here about a holy spring being contaminated. Do we want to go check it out? Let's have a look. Do they want to go check it out? Do they want to go and check it out? 50-50. No, they don't want to go check it out. Okay. So we should probably put a note in here for 0702. 0702. Okay, so we don't already have an entry for it. So 0702. We should put down 0702. There is a shrine with cursed spring. And there is an unknown technological item. There's also an evil wizard. Well, we don't know he's evil or they're evil. It's evil because they didn't do anything to us. Strange shrub-like person. Sounds about right. And with that, let us try and get back. Now, we say it probably took half a day to do most of that, so we can move to... I keep forgetting that I need to roll for rivers. Anyway, we can move to south. There's a lake here. So, we've already travelled for these hexes, so we could only look for something else if we actually spend a day in the hex looking. So there won't be any kind of missed encounters. Let's see if we encounter anything today. 2? No. Do we get lost? No. Okay. So 1, 2, stop here, have rations. Rations are down to 2. I need to cook in a minute, so this is going to be short. Which is kind of a bonus that we managed to find our way out so quickly, eh? So we're here at the lake. We camped by the lake. Do we catch any fish? Yes, we catch a fish. So we have a delicious fish dinner. And we continue heading south. Let's roll to see if we make any encounters. Nope. And I reckon that gets us back to town. Cool. So we get back to town. They tell us that, you know, the star alignment has passed. We can no longer perform a ritual. We're doomed to have a bad harvest. We're very apologetic. No, it is not your fault. We sent you off too late. But what was our reward supposed to be? Well, let's just say that the reward was 10 silver pieces. Give them each 3 and a bit. We'll give Doug the extra one, so Doug's got 6. The others have all got 3. Oh, it takes that one to 11. We've got 8 in the bag. Takes this one to 6. Okay. What should we do now? Well, obviously, we look for another mission, right? Before I head off to do some cooking. Yeah. It's 4:30. Where is it? Here it is. So new mission will... Here we go. D6. Type of mission. 6. Location based. And then what is the reward? 6. Ooh. XP plus an item. Roll an unguarded treasure. Unguarded treasure. Where is unguarded treasure? Dungeons. Settlements. Treasures. Treasures? That's creatures. I don't have the treasures table, do I? No. Well, it won't be anything... Well, the treasure will be something that we find, but we'll have to find when we're at the site. What looks like a reasonable... Let's just roll on a magic item. So D100... 77 scrolls. D100 18 one spell. Anyway, does it have a table for me to figure out which spell it's going to be? No. Okay, let's go to the magic book. Here's a magic book. Spell tables. 16? No, that's not what we're after. 19. I've given myself a paper cut. I can feel it. I can feel it. So we've got 7 levels worth of spells. So it's easiest if I just do a D12 and we don't count 7th level. So 2, it'll be a 2nd level spell. So we've got 7 on there. What an annoying number. Oh well, and 7's darkness anyway. So let's just do a D6. 3. Oh, this is the cleric spell list. Oh right, okay, we just go all the way up to 12. Let's re-roll this. 4th. Okay, and then we've got 14. For an easy way to roll a 14. 14's a really awkward number, eh? I'll tell you what we could do. 1 to 3, it's on the first 6. 4 to 6, it's on the second 8. I'm sure this isn't right, but... So it's on the first 3, so it would be 1. Polymorph self. So the reward is a polymorph self spell. Quest. Let's put a section in my little notebook. New quest. New quest. Location based. Now it's a gold, but it'll be silver, right? How much silver? D100 plus 5? D100 plus 5. No. D50 plus 5. So that's 50. Right? 90 divided by 2 plus 5, 50. So 50 silver pieces. And the scroll of polymorph self. Okay. And so location-based quests, D66. pink first. 54. Rebuild. Okay. Location. Rebuild. That's interesting, eh? Location. Quest subject. 3. Wilderness. Okay. So it'll be a wilderness location. And we roll to see what direction. What way is our map orientated? Yeah, thought so. Oh, come here. 5. So 5 is this direction. And then how far is it? 1. It's just out of town. Okay. Okay. So who's asking us to do this? Where's the other sheet? No, I don't want you free. Not you free. Not these sheets. No, they're not right upstairs. Okay, let's use... Oh no, it's under here. Characters. Well, first off, let's roll on the species ancestry table in book 1. I don't know if I've shown these since I put the numbers on them. Put big old numbers on them so they're easy to see which one it was. But I need this page. Draw a d12. 7. Mycelium. So a fungus person. Requester is a fungus person. Okay. Type. 3. Merchant. Okay. Merchant carries a cursed item. And a trait. So 1, 2, or 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here. 1. They're bald. A bald mushroom person. Okay. Anything else on here that I think could give us some stuff? No. So we've got to rebuild something. And shall we see if we can get some idea of what it is that we're rebuilding? Environment or location. Given it's a merchant that's asking us to do it, are we trying to rebuild a mine? 91, no. Okay, they want us to rebuild a temple to the goddess of good trade, right? Well, not the goddess. The local spirit of good trade. Right. Rebuild temple of its local spirit of good fortune. Good fortune. Right. It's fallen into disrepair. Probably monsters living there. Are there monsters living there? I reckon this is likely. 64. 64. And here it is. Yeah, 64 is just in there. So the monsters have moved in. So we've got to clear out the monsters and get the little place sorted. Okay. And we'll get 50 silver pieces and a scroll of polymorph self. Sounds good. That is what we'll do next. And we also, so I'm kind of saying that whenever they send us out, we get ourselves a new supply of food. That way, we're not spending huge sums of money on food. Particularly at the moment, we're kind of like trying to get this settlement back up on its feet. So we're going around and doing all these little pieces of work for them. But with that, I'm going to save this and upload. I think one thing I noticed the other day is Foundry Heart. I think Foundry Heart. It's for Dagger Heart. One of the Dagger Heart solutions for Foundry. So I'm very happy with that. I'll probably be playing that soon. Maybe later on today. But also later on today, I've got to run my second session of Alien Destroyer of Worlds, where hopefully I'm going to kill all my players. It's a one-shot, so I'm supposed to kill them all. It's okay. I'm not mean. It's just going to be funny. But otherwise, yeah. I've also been playing around with like a 1d6 kind of chainmail solution. So the idea being kind of like not chainmail, but a OD&D kind of using a d6. So the idea is that most monsters will have like a 4, or most things will have like a 4+ to hit, as in like you need to roll a 4 or more to hit them. And then armor reduces the wounds caused, and damage is just automatically dealt with, right? So if you're wearing or have the equivalent of chain, then there's a -2 to the damage dealt. If they're wearing plate, there's a -3 to the damage dealt. And most kind of weapons do like 1 or 2. It's to account for like the durability of plate. And then like fighters at the start get a +1 to wound. So it's kind of quite simple for just running through an encounter, running through a dungeon. But we'll see where that goes. Because the whole kind of like rolling d20s, figuring out the armor class, bit of a pain in the ass sometimes. But yeah, because another thing that I was thinking about whilst I was pondering stuff of this was I really like Biomega and Knights of Sidonia, and I was thinking that having a kind of OD&D in that kind of setting, and like some of the stuff from Barrows and Borderlands would be quite useful for that. So it's kind of like a deep post-apocalyptic sci-fi future setting with the magic, but like the humans on this kind of monolithic, this megalith, have lost access to the structure because they're no longer considered humans. It might be like a mutation table. Like if you roll a 1, then you're actually a pure strain human, which means you can actually access the ship's systems. So that's kind of wild, and everything else is kind of like big chunk of it is you're just a genetic kind of misfit down to you actually have some kind of benefit. I wouldn't have negatives in there because life's hard enough as it is, my guy. Otherwise, yeah. I'm happy. I'm glad I got to play around with a location crafter. I think the location crafter is pretty good for this kind of thing. I've used like Flextail. I've used other kind of random dungeon generators, but we always feel like we're going forever, and it's like I was doing Ardenval, and I was just like, oh Christ, I'm not getting anywhere. And I've just realised that I've made some tea before I started this, and I haven't drunk it because I've been so engaged. Anyway, hope you're having a great time, and listen to some dungeon synth or some synth pop or some whatever you like in the background. Throw on some heavy metal, throw on some death metal, whatever. Put on some rap, throw on some drill, whatever you like to listen to whilst you're doing stuff. Mentioning death metal, I might do some run throughs on, have a little play around with Morkborg again. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully I'll play some more. Like, I've got all of tomorrow to do stuff, and I've got Monday off because it's a bank holiday here in the UK. So that could be fun. I might do some stuff. I want to play around with the new Daggerheart Foundry now that it's out. And yeah, that's me. So you have a great time, whoever you are. And see you next time. Bye-bye.